Hi, I'm Brie Gartrell, and I am the founder of The Limelight. I wanted to create The Limelight because I am really in love with music, and there are various ways in which I don't know how to kind of place that love. So I made The Limelight as an outlet to do that. One of my relatives came up with the idea, and I kind of just fleshed it out, I guess, and asked people to be on it who had the same kind of likeness for music and art. Outside of The Limelight in here. Hey. Hey. I don't know, I was experiencing all of these really talented artists through my own eyes, and I wanted a platform to put them. You know, you don't really hear, like in Virginia, I don't know about Chicago DIY artists. DIY artists here in Chicago don't know about DMV artists. Having a place in a hub where I could place everyone so that people from all over could listen to sounded really cool. We're in house, which is 623, one of Columbia's buildings. And a couple days before I talked to Addie, I talked to Rachel about The Limelight being a thing. And Rachel told me that Addie also wants to do a music publication. So we were here, me and Addie, for SPB, which is the student programming board that we do here at Columbia. And we were about to get ready to go tour the Metro for our Biggest Mouth event. And I talked to Addie about the idea, and I proposed to her The Limelight, and I asked if she wanted to join. I had a tiny little notebook. It was really cute, and it had all of my ideas, what I wanted the logo to look like, the name, 2 to 3 artists. Well, at the time, it was going to be for Chicago and the DMV, because that's where me and Addie are from the DMV, and then we came here to Chicago, so we wanted it to be from Chicago and the DMV. So I had a couple DMV rappers that my brother told me about, and we had a couple Chicago artists that we had been seeing around, and I proposed that to her. And after that, we had our official meeting at the end of May. Not that, the beginning of May. And yeah, and that's kind of how it came to be. When we first decided to start doing merch for The Limelight, this is where we did it. Still in 623, but one floor above, it is the printmaking facility, and they also have a t-shirt maker in the back. To print our tickets and our flyers, we also went downstairs to the DPC to print our flyers and our stickers. I just said that, but I'm saying it again.
Hi, I'm Rachel Monlabatten, and I'm the graphic designer and social media manager for The Limelight. We are at 30 East, which was my dorm my freshman year of college. And my freshman year is when I met Brie, and I kind of got involved in The Limelight when Brie posted one day a simple Instagram story saying that they have this cool idea. It was pretty vague, but they had a call for graphic designers, and I was like, you know what, I don't really volunteer myself for these things, but I thought Brie was cool. I knew some people that Brie knew. We kind of knew each other at the time, so I slid up and I was like, I'm down. Once we started getting closer together and we became more friends, she came over to my dorm and we kind of talked about it. I showed her the first outline of the Limelight website, and we met up with our other graphic designer, Kaya, who also lived in 30 East, on that top floor of 30 East, one of the top floors of 30 East, and we had our first meeting. And we discussed what the Limelight was going to be, how that website was going to look, and that's kind of the origin of that.
We used to do our meetings here as a four group. We used to sit either here or here, and we would get to work. Now we do all our meetings virtual. Maybe one day we'll be able to do an in-person meeting, but for now, strictly Discord. Follow our Discord. Join our Discord, please.
I really got even more engaged with the whole concept because I found that living in Chicago, coming from the suburbs and everything, and coming from a place that wasn't really very artsy in general, that I loved meeting new people, especially people that weren't doing the same exact thing I was. And that's exactly what the Limelight started out as and came to be. And especially being a graphic designer, I feel like I do and have done a lot of work for other people in their own projects. And so I really wanted to be a part of the Limelight and still love being a part of the Limelight because it feels like something of my own, and I get to create my own content and my own style from it. And I feel like us as a team, we do a really good job of doing that, of everyone being able to be individual in it.
My mom always used to play the song in the car as a kid. Oh, look at Bree. Hi, I'm Stephanie Haro. I'm a writer for the Limelight. And I joined the Limelight because I was dabbling in journalism at the time. That's why I applied as a writer. My forte is definitely in audio and radio and interviewing, which I joined to do all of that and more. So I went to high school with Rachel in Little Hillbilly Fox Lake. I knew I wanted to come to Columbia. She was a little bit of my inspiration. Columbia is also, I go to school for journalism and radio, and they're the only school that does that. But anyway, so I'm here. I'm kind of watching the Limelight from the outside in, which was really interesting because I knew that's something I wanted to do. It just in a different way. Chicago is just a city that's so creative. And that sounds cliche, and everyone says that, but it's so true, especially with Columbia. Everyone wants to be part of everything. So it was just really great to have, like, the people surrounding me supporting that and, like, being able to join and find the Limelight, pun intended. And I'm just very grateful. And it's, like, very much driving that spark in me with all the creative stuff. Like, everything that we're doing is so amazing to me, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. I was just really inspired by everyone already a part of the team. I joined like a year behind everyone else, like in the summer of last year. So I just wanted to be involved and be part of this thing that I think is gonna go far. And I really love music. I do come from a place, I used to sing. I come from not a music background, I wish, but like I like it a lot. And I like talking to people, a lot of cool people, artists, etc. So yeah.
Over the last 2 years, I've been able to contribute and help build the community we have now through our multimedia content. We originally started out in Chicago, a hometown to me and many others on the team. Since then, we've expanded to the Midwest, the East Coast, and everywhere else in between. Through our features and collaborations, we've been able to build connections that'll last a lifetime. But for me, I also gained my own little bonus family, filled with endless creativity and dedication. The Limelight was created to be a safe haven for artists and visionaries, and it certainly has been for me.
Don't tell anyone, it's a secret.
We are here at the old book club location. Crazy shit, crazy stuff. This was kind of where my love for DIY and my spark for what the Limelight should be came from. My first book club show was, I don't remember who played that night and what it was for and where I was at. But I know one of these bands called Ugly Nate was performing, and that's crazy because that was one of the first bands that like kind of inspired me to do stuff like this. Just the people that they like accrued and the people that would come out to see them and just the vibe that would go on throughout their shows really gave me like, I guess, hope for like what the music industry will look like and like how people have fun here in Chicago. It was like one of my first times going to a place where a lot of people like me would be, and I don't know, it kind of just inspired me creatively, and it was awesome. And this is where it happened. And this is where everyone used to go, even Rachel behind the camera.
Starlight gazing out my window. Watched your make fade like a silver haze late at night.
Hi, my name is Shasara Goldsborough. I'm the communications manager for The Limelight. I joined The Limelight because they were in need of a communications manager, because at the time they were doing everything by themselves, and they're all very busy individuals. It's also a good experience for me because I love arts management. I want to be a manager in, the music business, and I get a little bit more experience in helping them with communicating with other artists and kind of communicating with them about their schedules and things. It just provided more experience. Great for my resume, great for, me as a person. I get to network with other people. Not that they know who I am, but I get to know the inside. Hello, we're at Bree's house right now. Welcome to Bree's humble abode. This is where we've had our first Limelight meeting where Kaya met Stephanie, one of our newer members, and that's when me and Stephanie joined at the same time. So it's not like she's any newer than I was, but it was really significant because Kaya never met Stephanie in person, whereas the rest of us kind of were acquainted with each other already. So that was pretty cool. I will say I never really was new to any of the Limelight meetings because Kaya and I were roommates when she was in the Limelight, and I would always be sitting in the background just listening, or Kaya and I would have a discussion about it on what's going on, Limelight things. So yeah, this was kind of new members meeting old members, and this is where it started.
Hi, I'm Addie, and I'm the editor-in-chief of The Limelight. I started with The Limelight in 2023. Bree had approached me with this amazing idea for this independent music blog. Already had the name picked out, cool color palette, amazing graphic designers on board. I had wanted to start my own music blog around this time, and this was just, I think, more than I could have ever envisioned on my own. So I knew that I had to hop on to the project. And as someone who loves music and loves talking to people, interviewing for the blog just felt like a natural extension of those things. So I was really enthusiastic about it. And then that summer, me, Kaya, Bree, and Rachel really put our heads together to launch The Limelight in July of 2023. And since then, it's been really amazing. Obviously, we all have a lot of love for the independent music scene in Chicago, and now that we're all kind of spread out across the country, we're really excited to kind of extend past that also. We have Stephanie and Jasara on the team now, thank God, because they help make everything go so much smoother. And it's just nice to have, more opinions and just more fun. I love my team members. I love The Limelight, and just really grateful that we've gotten this far. So thank you guys too. Thank you for supporting us. And yeah, happy birthday to The Limelight.
Do not forget about me. Think of me when you go to bed, and we're staring at the same moon. Farewell.